it's important to know your history. It's important to make sure that you don't let other people dictate how you feel about a certain individual, about a certain moment. Because when you let that happen, you can get manipulated. You can get tricked into believing in certain narratives that never existed. That's why the Tracy McGrady comments are important, because we cannot allow Tracy McGrady to rewrite history, or any of these people to rewrite history. I've been battling this for my whole life when it comes to Kobe's legacy. People try to downplay his legacy. So I felt like, you know what, let's come here and let's talk about it. So if you don't know, Gilbert Arenas, he was on ESPN, and when he was talking about ring culture, mainly LeBron's comments, he then brought up Kobe Bryant and how supposedly back then they were saying he was a sidekick because he wasn't the best player on his own team. Which he was, we'll get into that if he was a sidekick or not. But and then he said they were saying he was the next Pippen. Like, okay. And then Tracy McGrady also made some comments about how if he was inserted into that Lakers team, replacing Kobe Bryant at that time, that he would have a ring. So the Twitter sphere went up in shambles. People were going crazy, talking about Tracy McGrady, Gilbert Arenas don't know what they're talking about, a bunch of receipts. And now we're here. And I want to talk about it because I'm a Kobe fan. I'm a Lakers fan. I grew up on Kobe. So I think I have a good idea of who Kobe was during those times. And I want to get to Gilbert Arenas' point. He did address it. He did say he was wrong. He said yesterday with Lowe from Legend of Winning that he was wrong about the Pippen sidekick comments. But I'm going to still stay there because I've debated with people in the past about this, and they believe that Kobe got carried. Kobe was just a sidekick. Shaq was the main reason why they won. And I want to address this because by far those comments are so ignorant that just lets me know you didn't watch Kobe. You didn't watch those teams back in the day, and you're just going off of stupid barbershop narratives when that was not the case. So first of all, let me share my screen. I want to show something real quick. This is from 2002, 2003 from a GM survey. This is the first year that they did this. So let me share my screen real quick and show everybody what they were saying back then. So look at this. This is GM survey. So GMs, they gave their opinion on exactly what they felt was going to transpire in the 2003 season. So check this out. Predictions. Lakers, obviously, they just three-peated. Who will win MVP in 2003? They have Kobe tied for 1 with Shaq. I'm just saying, don't sound like a sidekick to me. Don't sound like somebody that was getting carried by Shaq. Sounds like a 1A, 1B. Tracy McGrady was at 5. He was great during that time, so no debate there. Let's see here. Most intense player, Kobe, 4. Who is the player most likely to make a last-second shot if a game depended on it? Kobe is at 1. Tracy McGrady ain't even in the top 5, ain't even in the top 4. He didn't even get no votes. Ooh. Let's see. Who else? Kobe. Which player do you most enjoy watching? Kobe Bryant. Tracy McGrady's at 3. Best shooting guard, Kobe Bryant. Tracy McGrady was obviously the best small forward during that time, but Kobe Bryant was overwhelmingly the best shooting guard at 92%. Let's see. What else we got? Let's see. Defense. Who is the best defender in the NBA? Kobe Bryant was tied for 3rd with Ben Wallace. Come on, man. Most versatile defender. Tracy McGrady was actually ahead of Kobe, but Kobe was still in the top 4. Okay. Let's see. Best ball handling, Kobe, top 5. Best athleticism, Kobe was 3. I disagree with that. I don't think he was in top 3. Best basketball instincts, Kobe Bryant was top 3. You get the point. So this is what they were talking about back then in terms of how people viewed Kobe. And this was before 2002, 2003 started. This is after the 3-point. This is before he averaged 30 the next season when Shaq was hurt for a number of games that year. Okay, and then I have one more thing. Actually, we'll get to that later. But that just lets me know what they were saying back then. Brian, what is your thoughts on the comments regarding Kobe Bryant was a sidekick while he was with Shaq three-peating? What is your thoughts?
You know, it's funny because we've been hearing this stuff for years and years and years. Then all of a sudden, once he passed away, talks were silent for a good, like it was kind of taboo to say after that whole helicopter crash incident. Now all of a sudden they trying to reintroduce the narrative and the throwing dirt on Kobe as a player, especially them first 3P days when he was on the Lakers. Like, it's ridiculous to me. It's absolutely ridiculous because I don't understand how you can look at that Lakers team. Yes, like Shaq obviously was the most dominant player, but they do not go to the finals without Kobe Bryant. Like it's just the fact. Like Kobe was the leader of the team. How are you a sidekick and a leader? That doesn't even make sense.
That's facts.
Like think about it like this. If you know anything about comics, you know Batman and you know Robin. Robin is a savage. Like that dude is like is it Dick Grayson?
Dick Grayson, it could
Yeah.
be Tim Drake, it can be I forgot the other Robin's name.
One of them dudes is just straight up savage. I think it's the one that turns into Nightwing. But
yeah, him. Yeah.
He's
Jason
a savage.
Todd.
Like
Todd.
yeah, Jason Todd, he's a goon. But and you could argue that Jason Todd would whoop you up better than Batman would, worse than Batman would. But you wouldn't say that he's the leader of he's the head of the group. No, he's the sidekick. Kobe was the main dog on the Lakers. It's just that Shaq had the mismatch and the advantage against pretty much everybody in the league. But then there was moments where if Shaq did have a shaky game, guess who was there to save the day? Kobe Bryant. That don't sound like no sidekick to me. That sounds like someone who knows how to win for the betterment of the team. A man that could put his ego aside. Well, that's the
no. I mean, in order for them to win, he had to put his ego aside during the game.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. This sounds like a bunch of malarkey. Tracy McGrady, you have some nerve. Because if we pull up them playoff stats, and brother, has Tracy McGrady gotten out of the first round as the number one option?
No, he hasn't. And I was doing some research on Tracy McGrady. I had time, so I was watching. I was watching some of them 4 quarters. By the way, mini rant.
Mm-hmm.
NBA. Why don't you have all of the Tracy McGrady playoff games on League Pass?
They don't.
Why is it that I can't find most of Tracy McGrady's playoff games? Y'all only have one playoff game from Tracy McGrady. One.
That's
one playoff game. And that is a huge problem because it's important to know your history. It's important to make sure that you don't let other people dictate how you feel about a certain individual, about a certain moment. Because when you let that happen, you can get manipulated. You can get tricked into believing in certain narratives that never existed. That's why the Tracy McGrady comments are important, because we cannot allow Tracy McGrady to rewrite history, or any of these people to rewrite history. I was listening to a YouTube channel by the name of Player's Choice. They do NBA. They do a lot of NBA discussion. And one guy came on Player's Choice and lied. He said that in 06, 07, and 08, the Kobe versus Tracy McGrady debates were at their peak, at their highest. I'm like, no, they were not. In what world was people debating about Kobe and Tracy McGrady in 06, 7, and 08? That never occurred. So it's important to understand your history. It's important to not let people tell you exactly what this was. Do your research.
Wait, that doesn't even make sense. So wait, they was debating Kobe versus Tracy McGrady when an 06 D Wade won a championship. That
Yes,
don't even
around
make
that.
sense.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It makes absolutely no sense. But anywho, what were you saying again? You were saying something. I kind of interrupted you on that one.
I think I got off everything I wanted to say.
Okay. So let me show you.
Yeah, I said because I was talking about Tracy McGrady. I said, did he even get out of the first round of the playoffs as the number one dude? And you was like, nope. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah, he didn't get out of the first round. I want to show you something real quick. Another thing that I've heard people say was like, "Oh, Kobe never had iconic moments in the finals or in the playoffs," which is BS. So let me share my screen real quick. This is just one game. This is if you guys remember, Game 7, 2000. The Lakers were down double digits. I think it was entering the fourth quarter. Let me show you the fourth quarter stats. Kobe Bryant was tied with Shaq. He scored 9 points, 3 for 6 from the free throw line, 3 for 7 from the field. He had that iconic assist to Shaq. Remember that? Kobe to Shaq. Yeah, that was Kobe who created everything. And he also hit a big time shot before that. So he hit a big time shot and then he dished off the lob to Shaq. And you're telling me Kobe didn't have no iconic moments in the playoffs. Kobe didn't have any iconic moments in the finals. Even in the same finals that people said Shaq carried Kobe, which in all fairness, he did, partially because Kobe got hurt. I think it was his ankle. He sprained his ankle or something like that. Even still, I think it may have been game 4 or 5. Shaq fouled out in OT. Kobe was clutch. He came through in the clutch. He took over the game and he won. And that was a pivotal game. So what are we talking about being carried? Kobe Bryant, if you're going to say Kobe was a sidekick while him and Shaq won championships, what was Magic Johnson? The first couple of rings. Because Kareem was the best player until 85. So was Magic Johnson the sidekick? If we're going by that logic, because, hey, Magic Johnson, by the time we get to, I think it was 84, he was an MVP caliber player. And in my opinion, an MVP caliber player is you are top 5 in MVP votes. I'm not just going to go off of, because you get some MVP votes that you're MVP caliber. No, in my opinion, MVP caliber, you are top 5 in MVP votes. That is MVP caliber. And by, I think it was 84, Magic was an MVP caliber player. So I'm just wondering, what's the difference between Magic and Kareem? Don't tell me because of the finals MVPs, because I think before Game 6 in 1980, Magic and Kareem was supposed to be slated to get the finals MVP over Magic. It's just because Magic had that historic game where he dropped nearly a triple-double and he played center position while Kareem was out in Game 6 that he won the finals MVP. And guess what? In a couple of those championships, Kareem won finals MVP over Magic. And Magic won finals MVP over Kareem, even though Kareem was better than Magic. Just because you win finals MVP doesn't mean you're the best player on the team. Ask Jason Tatum.
Ask Steph Curry.
Ask Steph Curry. Great point. So that whole ask Larry Bird. He didn't even win finals MVP the first time he won a championship. That was Cornbread Maxwell. So don't give me that argument that, just because this person won finals MVP, they are significantly better and the other person is a sidekick. No, that's not how it works.
Jason Tatum.
Yes, come on now. Like, we have to stop. We have to stop this. If you want to say, okay, Kobe, the first ring, he was kind of a sidekick, by all means, go have at it. I'm not going to debate you on that. But by the time we get to 2001, it was clear as day. It was 1A, 1B. And I was watching footage of Kobe back then. And guess what? All these people saying Shaq made Kobe better. Here's what I'll say. Shaq made the role players better. Kobe still had to get his. Kobe still had to create for himself. It wasn't like one of those things where, okay, Shaq is double teamed, Kobe has a wide open shot. No, it was not that at all. It was Shaq is double teamed, Kobe passed the ball, a defender is still there, so he has to create for himself. That's what happened. So all this BS about, oh, Shaq was this, Shaq was that. Shaq was dominant. Shaq made the other players better. Kobe still had to find a way to get his. It
Yeah,
wasn't like that at all. It was a lot more difficult than what people think.
you're absolutely right.
So yeah. And Tracy McGrady, I agree that I believe Tracy McGrady would have won one ring in 2001 because listen, nobody was beating that 2001 team. It wasn't just because Kobe was fantastic, which he was, but in 2001, the Lakers were just too good. They were just
Yeah.
too good. But if Tracy McGrady was on that team in 2000, they're not making it to the finals.
Mm.
2002, they're not making it to the finals. I'll even go 2004. They're not making
Mm.
it to the finals. Those are three separate situations where if Tracy McGrady was on that squad, they're not making it to the final. You know why? Because Tracy McGrady didn't have that clutch gene. I can't clutch gene. He didn't have the ability to hit clutch shots like Kobe did. Kobe was the closer of that team. Kobe made a lot of clutch plays. Kobe was tenacious. As great as T Mac was, he wasn't nearly as good when it comes to hitting clutch shots as Kobe during that time. So it's not that simple. 2001, I'll give T Mac that. 2001, I believe T Mac would have won because Shaq was so dominant. That team was so dominant, and they ran through the Western Conference that year. If you remember, I think they did. They didn't lose a game that year. So I think T Mac would have. If you inserted T Mac in 01, I think they would have won a championship. Besides that, that's it. That's it. That's it. So
Yeah, I don't know why we let T Mac be a great player, but buddy, when it comes to playoff success, you shouldn't be doing much of any talking.
yeah. And I was watching. I was. We'll transition a little bit. I was watching some T Mac footage of game. I think it was 3. He was in Orlando. They played Charlotte. They lost in overtime. And I was watching some other footage. I think it was against Detroit in 03, where they went up 3-1. He blew the 3-1 lead. And I watched him with the Rockets when they played the Utah Jazz, where he was favored in that series.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. And the Mavericks, in the Magic, when he was on the Magic, his team was so bad. Like by the fourth quarter, he was worn out. He was done. You could tell he was exhausted. So I could understand why people would come out and give him excuses
Mm-hmm.
because the team was god awful and he was exhausted. He was playing 45 minutes, 44 minutes, 50 minutes because some of the games were in overtime. So I can understand that. But at the end of the day, some of his shots, you got to make some of the shots. If you're getting one-on-ones, you got to make some of the shots. Against the Utah Jazz was the most egregious of them all. Game 7, they were making a point of emphasis to give Yao Ming the ball in the fourth quarter. But there was other times where Tracy McGrady could have taken it upon himself to score. And when he got one-on-one coverage, I think it was Andre Kirilenko, he couldn't score over him.
Mm.
He couldn't do it. And then he would ask for a screen, and he knew that if he asked for a screen, they were going to trap him or they were going to hard hedge him. So why are you asking for a screen so much when you know that the double is going to come? And when he gets single covered, he had trouble scoring. So I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear the injury excuse. Oh, his back was hurting. He was still really good that year. He was still regarded as one of the top players that year. I don't want to hear it. And Yao Ming was healthy. Yao Ming was healthy. It wasn't. I also hear the other argument. Oh, Yao Ming was never healthy. He was healthy in 05. He was healthy in 07. So where's the excuse? I don't want to hear. I don't 05.
Mm.
They got blitz. They got blitz in game 7 by the Mavericks, but he had an opportunity to win that series as well, especially in game 6. They come on now. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I think I'm gonna put a bow on that one. Put a bow. I think we can transition to that.